This meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. This meeting of July 15th, 2024 was published in the Courier News and Star Ledger and placed on the borough's website. Notice of this meeting was also placed on the bulletin board at Borough Hall. A copy of this notice is available to the public, and a copy of the statement shall be included in the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Mayor Brian Gallagher.
Here.
Council members, Teresa Bonner,
Here.
Glenn Denny. Here. Tom Mitchell.
Here.
Randy Pitts.
Here.
Gina Stravic.
Here.
Roger Vroom.
Here. Okay, please stand for the salute to the flag. And please remain standing afterwards. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I just ask for a moment of silence for the families of the individuals and families of those that were injured or killed in the assassination attempt this past weekend. Thank you. Just a comment. I think the events of this past weekend, regardless of your party affiliation, shined a light on those that have a whole lot of rhetoric that goes on both sides of the aisle, and I think it's time we get back to spirited competition is okay. Having disagreements, like ladies and gentlemen, is okay. Understanding that people have differing opinions is okay. And understanding that as a nation, we then come together and we vote. And that's what we do. I'm hoping that from this, a lot of folks can understand that the rhetoric, the visceral reactions, again, on both sides of the aisle need to stop. Regardless of whether it's at a local, county, statewide, or national level. Let's get back to being Americans. Thank you. Can I have a motion for the approval of the minutes of July 1, 2024?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members, Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny. Abstain. Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, there are no departmental reports or notices. Committee reports. Let's start with Tom.
Yes, Mayor. Okay. History on the Green returns to Somerville this coming Saturday, July 20th. Activities include meeting Revolutionary War soldiers and General George Washington, the New Jersey fife and drum performances and parade, early American artisan demonstrations, and more. For more info, go to the county webpage at co.somerset.nj.us and look under News. On Saturday, July 6th, the Fire Museum had water on the truck room floor. It was observed that water was dripping from the ceiling near the HVAC unit. The HVAC was shut down, the floor was mopped, buckets were placed to catch the water, and the electrical main was protected from the additional water penetration. The system was repaired the next day. Water may have gotten under the floor covering near the service counter, and a few artifacts were affected. Museum volunteers are dealing with the damage. Special thanks to Rich O'Neill, Ron Jakowski, and Pat Weston for their vigilance and diligence, without which the damage would have been much greater. On Monday, July 8th, the History Roundtable presented a program at the Fire Museum about the First National Bank building at Main and Maple Streets. Thanks to Marge Sullivan for an interesting and well-researched presentation. Old photos show the building when there was a storefront east of the bank entrance and before the clock was added. We briefly discussed the developer's plans to renovate and restore the building. Good news, he plans to repair the clock. Monday, September 9th at 7 p.m. Art Adair will pay tribute to the 18 U.S. colored troops from the Civil War buried in Somerville's new cemetery. Governor Murphy's new corporate tax proposal has been approved by the state legislature, providing New Jersey Transit with an estimated $800 million annually for 5 years. It's based on a 2.5% tax on corporations. And the Gateway Development Commission has signed a grant agreement with the Federal Transit Administration for $6.88 billion in federal funding for the Hudson Tunnel project, and closed on loans from the Build America Bureau totaling $4.06 billion to fund the local share of the project. With these actions, they have secured the entire $16 billion commitment needed to complete the project, building the tunnels under the Hudson. That's all I have.
Thank you, Tom. Gina?
So the Board of Health report from the county indicates that COVID rates are very low, questionable whether how much is being reported or not. But the other news from the county is that there have been 16 communicable disease reports. So they range among various illnesses, but no cautions to our residents at this time. The Somerville Rescue Squad reports 144 calls in the month of June. The average response time for Somerville was 3.8 minutes, and the number of total volunteer hours for the month was 412. So we commend our emergency squad. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Glenn?
Thank you. So for the Environmental Commission this month, first of all, you'll see it later on in the agenda, but we also want to wish all the best to outgoing member Jeffrey and thank him for his ideas and his service and always his smile. He always livened up the meetings, and we'll miss him very much. The J. Scott Memorial Community Garden continues to grow successfully. The members have been taking great care of their beds, and if you walk by the pickleball courts, you will see tons of green growth surviving all of this heat down there. So go say hi to some of the gardeners there. During our monthly meeting, we were talking about developing additional volunteer activities beyond our Earth Day cleanup, so be on the lookout for some of those in the coming months. Also, we were updating our community forest plan, so we'll be working on that. And then we will also be at National Night Out on August 6th, and you can see our tables there and talk to us there, or you can come to our meeting on August 13th on Tuesday here at 7 p.m.
Great.
That's it.
All right,
Thank you.
Teresa?
Thank you. So I just have an update on some of the programs for the next 2 weeks at Somerville Public Library. On July 16th, it's quite a full day. There's English for Conversation group for adults where they can practice speaking English in a friendly setting. Intermediate English skills are required. That's at 10:30 a.m. And then at 3:30 p.m., there's afternoon tea for kids. They can bring a friend for an afternoon tea inspired by the Mad Tea Party in Alice in Wonderland. And then at 5 p.m., there's volunteer info session with volunteer guardianship and learn how to make a difference in by volunteering to help adults who lack mental or cognitive ability that are in need of legal guardianship. On July 20th, there's a camping and wilderness first aid workshop for kids at 11 a.m. They can learn the important techniques to keep themselves safe in the great outdoors. There's also going to be a series of cooking classes for adults, July 23rd and 22nd and 23rd, such as easy cold brew tea, vegetable one-pot pastas. So it's great they're offering cooking classes now at the library. To find out all about the exciting programs for kids, adults, and teens, visit the library in person. Check out the Somerset County Library System website or download the SCLS-NJ app on your phone, and that's where you can register and find out all about the programs. The Municipal Alliance and Youth Services Commission met on Thursday, July 11th. I'm happy to report that 3 grant applications were submitted to the county and accepted for the youth services, which will be funding for Vanderbucks program at Vanderveer School, Girls on the Run, and the Somerset Middle School Be Good raffle program. We will also be, the Municipal Alliance and Youth Services Commission will also be at National Night Out on August 6th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. find the table, and we'll give you more information on fighting addiction in all age groups. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Randy?
Thank you, Mayor. This past Sunday's DSA's Somerville Market with over 77 participants hosted a great turnout despite the intense heat and the date change. Many of the vendors enjoyed participating and look forward to next year's event, which will include additional entertainment and kid-focused activities. They're really looking forward to it.
Good.
Thanks for everyone that came out.
Great, thank you. Roger?
Registration is now open for the Fall Soccer League for students entering grades 1 through 8. The deadline is August 4th. As has been previously mentioned, National Night Out will be held on Tuesday, August 6th at Carroll Pager Sports Complex from 6 to 8 p.m. It is a free community event, and obviously everyone is invited to attend. Please attend. It's a great evening to bring the family out. Spray parks are open daily from until 6 p.m. Michael Lepp opens at 10, and John Long Park opens at 11 a.m. As previously stated, residents are reminded to register in advance either online or at Borough Hall to attend our pool. The pool is open daily from 12 to 6 p.m. and is free to all Somerville residents. And finally, the Somerville 5K Turkey Trot is coming up on Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. Right now, we have an early bird registration, so take advantage of those savings for the months of July and August. You can register at SomervilleTurkeyTrot.com.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
You running this year?
Only to watch my son run.
Come on, we got to field a team out of the
I'm
kid.
registered. I'm there.
All right.
We're in.
All right, awesome. Can I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, if you have public comment, please step forward to the microphone. Please state your name and address for the record, and please address your comments only to me. Public portion is now open. No, right here,
Right.
that microphone.
Hello, Mayor and council members.
Is that microphone on?
Yeah,
You can, okay.
no, maybe not.
Oh,
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
My name is David. I live down the street, 31 South Davenport Street. I actually was here a year ago petitioning for permit parking only. I raised a question to the council members and the mayor today. Do you know how many areas around this train station are actually open to the public for free parking?
You can make statements.
Okay.
It's not an inquisition of the council.
Okay,
So you
so-
make your statements and,
Oh,
yeah. It's
My
It's
apologies.
a public comment period. It's
Okay.
okay. That's,
so Veterans Memorial Road, all permit parking. The garage, the concrete garage over there is also permit parking. There's also a parking lot over there that's permit parking. Meter parking in front of the post office. North Bridge Street has permit parking, all located over there. So what is the town doing exactly with that type of traffic? They're driving that traffic and that parking into this area. This area has been ravaged by residents of this either Avalon or across the street. I see them using the underpass to come through. The other day, not the other day, 2 weeks ago, my neighbor almost had their daughter run over because somebody was running to get a parking spot. Every night, there are roughly a dozen cars. They do not live here. My neighbors do park in their garages. There's 84 parking spots out there, yet if you go outside, you will see people are illegally parked everywhere. I'm not sure what the intention is of the parking lot next door. However, people are not taking parking seriously. I can tell you I have noticed and advised the council with pictures showing how many empty parking spots are at the Avalon garage, also how many empty spots are at the New Jersey Transit garage, and yet there's still impending danger that is being driven into these streets every single day. What I am asking the council to do and ask is that these streets be permit parking only, just like the streets around this neighborhood. Main Street's becoming very vibrant. I've enjoyed it very much so. And it seems that people have figured out that all you have to do is park here, go through the underpass, and now you have free parking for the rest of the time. My petition here today is to actually veto the adoption of New Jersey Title 39, which would put the regulation of police to ticket all neighborhood parking, anyone that's parked illegally on these streets. There's been a ton of garbage that has been accumulated on these streets because people of the Avalon have bought carts. They will go shopping and they will load their carts and they will walk over here. With the recent heat, also, there's been an abundance of people going to the pool. Whether they live at the Avalon or not, I am seeing every single weekend ton of traffic at the Avalon on pool days. I have a petition has been circulated to all the homeowners regarding permit parking. This was brought up a year ago, and again, I'm bringing it up again because honestly, I do live here. My family lives here. I love my dog, Louie. He's my bestest buddy ever. And I know my neighbors very well. They're very good people. And they would be sitting here with me right now if I asked them to, but I asked them to give me the chance to actually speak to all of you about encouraging permit parking. Because it's not just for the sake of having a parking spot. It is turning into a unregulated speeding frenzy at night. And I could tell you the amount of people that are speeding through is just unbearable. So I am pleading with the mayor and the council, please permit parking so that you can see how these streets will be easily regulated so that when you do come here for your council meetings, that you'll see less traffic and that you'll see that the high school children that walk from high school through the underpass, through the route on Station Road, that it will be actually a safer place for them. And that's what I am asking.
Thank you. I will make comments after the public session is over.
Okay. I will be submitting this as well.
You
and
can
if
give
you'd
that to
like-
Mr. Saluka? Yes.
And if you'd like copies of petitions from the other homeowners, I will also provide that via email.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other public comment?
Testing. Hey, Mr. Mayor. Hello, council
Just your
members.
name and address for the
My
record.
name is Peter Conway. I know all of you. I voted
And your,
for you.
and your address.
15 North Dowdy
Thank
Avenue. I wanted to bring up a point about people not picking up after the pets walking the street. That's about it. It's just disgusting. I have a 2-year-old, beautiful little sheepoo, and I pick up after him every time I walk him. And, you know, it's disgusting to see, you know, stuff just laying there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Hi, I'm James Meister from 102 Bermuda Drive, Branchburg. I'll just get this right. Okay. I am, for context, I am a rising senior at Somerville High School. I am the president of Youth and Government Club, and I'm also a member of the Environmental Commission. But I rise here to discuss a matter that is not discussed enough, that is our veterans. So first off, we all understand that our veterans are very important and respected, and that's a common sense.
You got one
fact.
sitting right behind you.
Really? Where?
That gentleman right there.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. So with this in mind, especially in politically turbulent times, such as now, it's really important to remember how far we've come as a country, as a nation, unified under that one principle of democracy. So I would like to discuss the importance of implementing, or the potential of implementing, a Veterans Town Hall this Veterans Day. I believe the date would be November 22nd. Veterans Day Town Hall has been a national growing idea throughout different communities across the nation. Specifically, this Veteran Town Hall would have veterans to be able to speak for 10 minutes at a speaking time with, of course, a moderator. And it literally is just an open forum for veterans to speak their beliefs, their mind, to really get their voices out and bond the community together and remind us, again, how far we've come and a greater respect for our veterans. So with this in mind, by hosting these events, we demonstrated our commitment to our veterans. We show from their service that is not forgotten and that we are listening to their stories and what they have to say on the state of our nation. A Veterans Town Hall would be a 4-hour period, again, 10 minutes speaking time per person, and it would be a really great opportunity for all of our veterans, not just in Somerville, but across the county to come meet and gather and yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment?
The short one. Hello. Cindy Blumenkrantz, 27 East Cliff Street in Somerville. I wanted to come and say thank you to all the fire services and rescue squad, everybody who came out, the mayor. I even saw Steve Peters. It's only 2 blocks from the county building. Come over. My neighbor's house burned up. And if you've been driving down East Cliff, there's a pink Victorian next to a green one that was built in 1800s, and they are literally 5 feet to 8 feet apart. The wind thankfully went front to back of the house. My neighbor, Kathy, on the other side of us, said that the flames went halfway into the backyard. Had they come towards my house, my husband's fixing our bathroom, I think our house would have blown up with the acetone and everything that was in there. But I wanted to say I got a call from my neighbors. One neighbor over here saw and heard the pop and saw the flames starting. A neighbor over here called me. On our street, we all have each other's keys and we all look out for each other, which is one of the things that I've really loved about when we moved to Somerville 14 years ago. And Grant called 911. Kathy called me. My 22-year-old Shih Tzu was in the house, so police went in, scooped him up, and brought him.
Did you say 22-year-old?
He's 22.
Okay.
He's still around. I swear he's going to outlive me. But anyway, so he was in the house, so they scooped him up in his bed, took him to Kathy, the neighbor, in. The fire department, they cut the trees down in our front yard to get the ladder in. Fine with me. Because they were there, they got it handled. The house didn't fall completely down, and it was a raging fire. And my house has no signs of damage from the fire or anything. So I wanted to say thank you to all the fire units and everybody else involved in it. I don't have a list, I'm sorry, but the response was amazing. It was almost completely out by the time I got home from my job at Rutgers. And my husband got home from where he works. So we sat across the street and watched the amazing dance of all of these professionals handle the response. So the houses next door didn't catch on fire, front or back didn't catch on fire. It was amazing, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody involved.
Thank you. And so you're aware, Council President Vroom was one of those interior firefighters battling that blaze.
Well, I appreciate that very much, because it made a big difference. I mean, as close as they are, my house is built in 1900. It could have gone up like a matchstick too. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you for coming out and saying that. Any other public comment? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to close.
So moved.
Discussion? Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Dene,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell, Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, public session is now closed. All right, taking them one by one, probably in the order that they were given. In terms of permit parking, I support permit parking. I don't know that you're going to get any issue with permit parking in the area. The borough does not, we have not taken control of these streets yet, correct? Am I correct? So we do not have the authority to implement or enforce permit parking. What I can tell you is, once we do, that is something that we will absolutely take up. It's not up to me whether to implement it or not. The council will have to make that ultimate decision. But we understand there are issues, I can tell you that. But we don't control those streets yet, so we can't implement that permit parking. I would say sit tight. I don't know when we're going to take control of them, but the project is still ongoing, so we have not taken control of those streets yet. So, no, the public session. So number two, but I'm telling you, I'm in favor of it. I live near the hospital. I have permit parking in my neighborhood. It works very well. So I understand the value of permit parking where it is needed. You talked about pets, no, actually, that wasn't you. But you spoke about the pool. That's something that Avalon has to control. That's not anything, that's a private pool. That's not a pool that the borough has any control or interest in. That is completely owned, managed, operated, enforced all by the management of Avalon. So if you have issues with folks that are going to the pool, you have to take that up with Avalon. That's not anything that we control. We have public pools that we manage. That is not a public pool. That is a private pool. We don't control that at all. No, public port, excuse me. And then as for garbage, that's a problem. If you see people littering or they're not picking up after the dogs, you have every ability to call the police department. Don't call the emergency line, but call the police department and let them know. Call the management of the building management and let them know. It's a shared responsibility. So, when there's trash that's getting thrown around, you have to identify who is doing it. We can't be there 24/7. So if you have a neighbor who you see you're telling us that it's neighbors that are bringing shopping carts in. Well, if it's your neighbors, you may want to address your neighbors. It's not always up to the government to fix those types of problems. Sometimes you have to actually talk to your neighbors, talk to the building management. If it's coming out of some of the apartment buildings, you need to speak with them as well. So I hope that answers your questions, but I can tell you I am in favor of permit parking, all right? Number two, dogs not picking up. Yeah, it's gross. It's just gross. Yeah, I think it's not as prevalent as it was with the advent of cameras on everybody's houses now. There's a lot less of that going on. Does it still go on? Yes. Does it still go on in front of my house sometimes? It does. But, if you see somebody, let them know. Hey, can you pick that up? Maybe offer them a bag. If you're out walking, offer them a bag. They may not have a bag. That's happened to me, but, you have enough common sense to go back and get another bag. But maybe they don't have a bag. So, maybe try offering them a bag as well. And we can put a little reminder out on social media, just to please pick up after your pets, just as a reminder. And then the veterans, I think that's a great concept. At the turn of this year, we created a Veterans and Seniors organization, a committee here in Somerville. And what I'm going to do is take that concept and push that to the veterans group and ask them to take up that idea and see how they want to run with it. But I love the idea that you're coming forward with positive ideas, and that's pretty cool, so thank you.
Mayor, I would also suggest that we look at the schools and connect with them. Years ago, there was a veterans program. I don't know if we're still doing anything actively, but I think we should make sure that young people are versed in our veterans and sacrifices they made and celebrated as well.
Well, and maybe, and I agree, Gene, I think that's a great idea. I think maybe we can kind of guide the Veterans Committee towards maybe working with the schools, and rather than having it somewhere like here, maybe it's brought into the school, into the high school or the middle school or the grammar school or all three, and having that ability for the veterans to talk a little bit about, what they did and why they did it. So, thank you. Thank you. Okay, ordinance for introduction, ordinance number 0715, amending chapter 102, section 118, entitled Off-Street Parking and Loading Requirements, subsection F, entitled Driveways, item 4.
2737.
Sorry, 2737. 715 is the date. Yeah. Thank you. Public comment on 2737 is now open. Hearing none, we'll close public comment and motion for introduction.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, consent resolutions. Anybody wants pulled off for further discussion? All right. 216 is authorizing the execution of a shared services agreement by and between the Borough of Raritan and the Borough of Somerville for property maintenance enforcement officer services. 217, authorizing the 9th annual Somerville 5K Turkey Trot on Thanksgiving Day, November 28. 218, approving annual renewal of taxi driver license for 24-25. 219, authorizing mayor to execute letter of continued partnering and related documents with the New Jersey DEP in the Brownfield Development Area Program for the Borough of Somerville for the landfill redevelopment area. 220 is approving the hiring of Andrew Sprague as laborer for Department of Public Works. 221 is memorializing the execution of grant applications for Somerville Youth Services Commission for 24-25 abbreviated annual grant for Girls on the Run, SMS Be Good, Positive Behavior Support Raffles, and Vanderbucks Intervention Program. 222 is accepting the resignation of Jeffrey Tinio from the Environmental Commission effective immediately with thanks, extending the grace period on municipal charges for property taxes and special improvement district taxes on 223. Do we have a motion?
Second?
Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, bills and vouchers.
I make a motion to pay bills and vouchers in the amount of $1,259,890.12.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, Tom, you're on.
Move for adjournment.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned.